Golfers, I guarantee this video will help you take 10 strokes off your scores and enable you to start holing more putts and 3 putting less and start beating your mates on a regular basis. Check out the video below. Golfers, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone is well. In today's video we're going to discuss 3 common issues I see regularly on the putting green, which is holding your putting back, and it's also plaguing you from holing more putts and lowering your scores. So this video is on behalf of one of my Instagram followers who's struggling with their putting technique, and here's a simple checklist that you could adhere to before you hit any putt. So one of the biggest things we see when people struggle with putting is understanding the speed of the greens. So the speed of the greens influences how hard or how soft we need to hit the golf ball. So it's understanding first where the target is, how we're going to aim the club face relative to where we want the ball to start and relative to where the target line is. If you're somebody that struggles with face control, the biggest thing you need to understand is we need to hit a little bit more of the centre of the club face. If you start hitting the heel side of the club or the toe side, the ball will lose speed, it'll deviate too much offline. So this is a checklist I adhere to before I hit any putt. It gives me the best chance of success and the best chance of holing any putt, prepares me for each putt. So what when you do, a lot of golfers we see, they grip the club too much in the fingers. So if you set up with the club in terms of the angle between the grip end of the club and your left forearm, the grip end of the club gets too low, so we grip it too much in the fingers. When we grip it in the fingers, it encourages quite a lot of wrist hinge and also causes the club to move quite excessively in your hands, which is going to compromise the strike and the direction the ball travels. So when you set up to the golf ball, don't get your hands too low where the grip end of the club gets too low compared to the base of the left forearm. We create a little bit too much cupping in this left wrist, or too much radial deviation where the thumb goes too much towards the sky. We want to take that angle out in our left wrist. We want to grip it a little bit more in the palm of my hand. Try and get the grip end of the club going all the way up your left forearm, like Matt Kuchar style. If I grip it in the fingers, the grip end of the club gets lower compared to the forearm. So put the club basically in front of you, put your left hand on the grip first, try and get the club almost dissect all the way up your left forearm. That's a good analogy, and it's almost going to feel like your hands are a little bit higher at address. That is a really good technique you can use as well if you struggle with pitching. It just gets the club a little bit more in the lifeline of the hand, and the club doesn't have the mobility as what it would in the finger. So the hands stay relatively quiet because we're taking the wrists out of the equation. So hands a little bit higher, grip it a little bit more in the palm. See a straight line grip in the club going all the way up through the middle of your front of your elbow, all the way up your shoulder. You can see that my left hand slightly favours the left hand side of the grip. From there, it'll appear that you can see a slight gap between my fingers and the palm of my hand. That's a good sign. If I put my left hand too much on top of the grip, that encourages the club to sit too much in the fingers. So just allow your left hand to favour the left hand side of the grip. As you put your right hand on, lifeline of the hand, so you can see both thumbs are pretty much equidistant to each other. So my hands are pretty symmetrical, palms are facing each other. So all you're going to do from there is palms to sky, it's both hands together. Too many golfers we see struggle with putting, get the elbows too excessively away from their body. So what when you do, elbows on the side, hands face each other, clasp both hands, an easy way to translate that in the grip in the club. So the left thumb favours the left hand side. Put your right hand on, so the right hand just kind of sits underneath. Both elbows are relatively level. That's just going to help me create a little bit of symmetry. So don't get your right hand too much on top of the club, like we see a lot of golfers, where the right elbow faces away from your right hip. That's going to create forearms to get really open and encourage an out to in punch. Grip the club in the palm like you see here, put the club in front of you, grip end of the club going all the way up your left forearm. Put your right hand on. Grip should feel pretty stable here because it's in the palm of your hand. If it's in the fingers, there's a lot of encouragement of wrist action. Club faces square, then grip the club. Extend your arms out in front of you. You're going to try and get a little bit of connection, a little bit of symmetry. Pull your elbows in to the upper rib cage. I pull my elbows in, so my elbows hit the upper part of my rib cage. Then what we're going to do is tilt forward. As you can see from there, the grip end of the club's not too low. It's a little bit higher, a little bit more onward deviation of your hands. It'll feel like your hands are really high at address. That's a natural feeling. Elbows connect to rib cage, shoulders, forearms are aligned to my intended target. Everything's working together and working in unison. From there, all I'm going to do is, if you struggle with putting, so set up to the golf ball, elbows in, tilt forward. The ball position should just be left of centre, so left eye is a good reference point. And then the grip end of the club should feel like it's just a little bit favouring towards your left leg, so the grip end of the club towards the left eye as well. That's just going to feel a slight forward press. Many people struggle with adding lots of loft. Grip end goes back, add lots of loft. Face tends to close, but we also add a lot of loft. So really, we want to feel like grip end goes a little bit further forward. That's going to help us create a slight forward press, and it's going to allow the ball to come off a little bit more speed, so be wary. If sometimes we add lots of loft, contact's a little bit low in the face. If you add a little bit of a forward press, the ball comes off quick. You need to control the speed a little bit better, hit softer. Grip in the lifeline hand, left hand slide down, left hand side of the grip, right hand slide down, right hand side. From here, as you can see from there, as it would appear my hand's a little bit higher at address. Grip end of the club goes all the way up my forearm. That's kind of checkpoint number one. Make sure the face is nice and square so it matches the angle of my spine. Elbows into upper rib cage, that'll feel connection. Your shoulders should feel relatively level. Shoulders and forearms are square to the target. Feet together, build your stance, elbows in. Ball position should just be left to centre. Left eye is a good reference point. And then a slight forward press, so feeling like the grip end of the club just nonchalantly just goes slightly to the left. Longer backswing, shorter fall through. The main objective here is trying to hit the middle of the club face. If you hit the middle of the club face every time, the ball will launch pretty much where the face is aiming. If we start to hit it a little bit toe side or heel side, the ball will lose speed and it'll deviate off. There's a few simple tips to implement within your putting. If you've got any thoughts or questions regarding that video, please let me know. If there's anything you're struggling with within your game at this moment in time, comment below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're looking to improve your golf game over the winter months, in person or remotely, please get in touch. I've got a series of offers in place at the moment from now till January. For more information, please get in touch.